Welcome to class number 2 at the School of Mysticism with me, Anaya Science Witch. And we're going to be continuing on from class number 1, where we discussed the human hologram, right? Those symbols up there, looking into the sacred geometrical structures and functions of the human body, or the Iosa Chriost, from the teeniest, tiniest little atomic invisible structure to the macro structures, including all of the organs, and a little bit, just a summarization of what structures are at all the different levels and what they do and how this whole body works on a physiological level. So how we process our resources of energy into food and how we evacuate that out of the body. Just stuff that everyone really should know about their own human bodies, right? And so what we're going to do today is kind of keep that in mind as we move over to Ireland, the macrocosmic viewpoint of the human body as the hologram. So here's a body facing west. Here's Ireland, feet out the bottom, facing west. How are they similar, and how is this going to be useful for us performing the art of inner alchemy, the sacred secretion, raising the Christ oil within? So later on, we'll go over to the east and inspect the Daoist map of a human body, also facing west, but that will be a microscopic internal viewpoint. So now we're going to the larger viewpoint. And if you've already known my work, you'll probably know my story about going around Ireland. And this is how I came to see that my journey around Ireland was actually a microcosmic orbit, which is a Qigong practice that we do for inner alchemy to move energy up our spine and through our brain, refining the sacred secretion or the golden elixir within. And when you start comparing this inner alchemical experience of what the Daoists teach with the coded information that's in the Bible, and you blend it together, you realize that it's the same teaching. So what we can later inspect and pull out of the Daoist teachings, which is such well-preserved resources of information, it really does help to fill in the gaps of what we know that's in the Bible, but we know it's been covered up. We know that the Bible has been doctored and changed and butchered, and probably all the original copies are gone, and we're trying to remember because we know that this teaching is the important teaching. And we know from what McDarry has taught us that, it's pretty straightforward what happened. Rome stole the Bible from Ireland, and they changed it around, and they externalized all of the teachings, which are only ever allegorical metaphysical teachings. They externalized them and made a fake history. And that's what we're trying to come out of the fallout of now, which is quite a traumatic history, very traumatic, and it's really muddled up our relationship with our own bodies, our relationship with our own Iosa Chriost, because Iosa Chriost is not out there. This is Iosa Chriost. You're born into one. You've got one. So we're doing in this school, how does it work? How can we get back to being in our bodies again and learn all we can about the ancient wisdom, the ancient arts of the Magian priests, which was taught to all of these different cultures around the world. So if we inspect the teachings from the different cultures of the world, we join them together, we've got a more complex story, tool, resource of the ancient ways, the ancient teachings. But at the moment, they're still a bit compartmentalized all around the world. And all of those compartmentalized versions are they've got forgotten parts as well, because of all of the trauma that Rome did on everyone to erase any memory of what it did to Ireland. So this is, really getting back to, what Conor McDarry was telling us, that, the Magian priests of Ireland were the original authors of the Bible. So it's a lot of information to even just to say that, we've got so much to cover just in like breaking down what that means and getting through cognitive dissonance with it all. But what I can say on like my personal account is that I've been doing this work full time for 3.5 years now, with the theory about it beginning back in 2016. But it took about 2 years of full-time study and inspection for me to break through the firewall of cognitive dissonance, to realize like how traumatizing it is to realize what was stolen from every single human on the planet in just a few short years. So, you know, if this does bring up some stuff for you in the process, that's good, because that's what we're meant to be doing, is healing ourselves at the same time with this knowledge that was, it's like the veil just got put on, because it's actually all hidden in plain sight. So that's the intro. I won't rev it on too much.